Girl, let's talk about it. Did you hear that talking about it? Oh my God, do you know this? What? Oh my God.
Oh my God, Shani Lavely and Nicole. Shani Lavely and Nicole on the roll. Lighting up the screen, the vibe is bold. Shani Lavely and Nicole, let's go. Kicking down doors, we make some noise. Grown folks talk with truth and voice. Doing it big, turning up the flow. Shani Lavely and Nicole, you know. Oh yeah, Shani Lavely and Nicole. Oh yeah, Shani Lavely and Nicole. Everywhere. Shani Lavely and Nicole. Oh yeah, grown talk vibes, the moment is here.
Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. Today I am by myself. You know, my girl is still on her set. She's doing her thing. You know, what can you do when you have greatness being in the making and all this good stuff that we're trying to do for 2026, y'all. But I wanted to come up. And the topic today is 2026, the new beginnings, the new beginning of something new. 2026 feels like a door swinging open, a year to a fresh start, bold decisions, and becoming who you really were meant to be. In this year, a new chapter of healed heart, elevated mindsets, and opportunities we once only dreamed about. Lessons turned into wisdom, faith turned into movement, and visions turned into reality. Nothing old can ever hold you back. We're on the rise in 2026, and it's just the beginning of the year. We're 13 days in. Let's talk about something new. What does that look like for everybody? What is the 2026 opportunities that we're kicking down doors doing, right? So you hear me make mention to Leah Nicole is out being great. She's doing her thing. She's putting in the work, you know, and it's my job as a co-host to support her and say, hey, get out there, girl, get it, go shine, go win, go do what is great for you. That's the bigger thing. So that's kind of how 2026 started. You know, when I laid in my bed December 31st, you know, I got home right just before it hit midnight. I was out and I was hanging with some of my friends at one of my girlfriends' house. And I was sitting there in that moment and I was like, oh my God, like this is the first year going into a new year that I actually been able to sit with my mom, you know, like sit with her, because it was like almost a 7-year gap that I didn't see her. So I got in my car and I was like, let me get home so I can have that moment, you know, because these are the moments that I'm building, you know, that I'm building on. And I got home and, you know, my little Harper was there, my son, and we just kind of embraced each other. Like, you know, just like, hey, it's a new year, it's a new beginning, it's a new chapter, it's just these new things taking place, right? With all the setbacks that came in 2025, you know, so on the way home, I had like an hour drive, right? So I'm driving and it's like an hour from where I was. And I was just like, I was reflecting back on all these different things that happened in 2025. And I kind of went through the motions of the ups and downs and the waves. And I was just kind of like, yeah, that was something. And yeah, that meant something. And yeah, and I just all these woes, right? All these woes. You ever felt the woes, y'all, where you just sit back with yourself sometime and you're just like, I don't even know what this is anymore. I just knew that there was something that needed to be changed. You know, like I toggled with everything in 2026. Like I toggled with life decisions. You know, my whole world was flipped upside down in the beginning of 2025. You know, it was just so much movement that was going on to the point where I had to stop abruptly and just scale back a little bit and say, wait a minute, I got to start looking at things as they are and seeing things as they're appearing and understanding what all these different changes that I'm going through is meaning, and what is God pushing me towards. That was my thing. So in the earlier, I started praying really hard in the earlier part of January, just praying about things to be revealed, seen, whatever was for me, to keep it near me, whatever wasn't, push it away. And I kept, crazy enough, I kept going to readers, right? And I kept asking the same question, like, what is it? What am I supposed to be doing? Because I feel like it's something that I'm missing, and it's something that I need to be doing. But then I had to realize that these readers are always going to tell you what you want to hear, right? They're going to tell you, like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this, you do this. But when I was really taking my faith away from God and putting it in the hand of someone to tell me how my life was supposed to be lined up, instead of just trusting the process. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's what God was trying to show me. I think, I say God, and I mean in Jehovah, I think he was just trying to show me things and say, I keep giving this to you and you're not getting it. So I'm going to have to let you get it now, because you're not getting it. And then, we started out the year, in the beginning of the year, the whole big thing was getting Singing for Freedom off the ground. So Singing for Freedom was this big project, right, that I embarked on, that I wanted to tell my life story to the world about a part of my life that was very dark. And that took me through some changes in life, but I always say everything in my life has made me who I am today. So I started digging into that. My mind was open to it. And I always said, years of my life, I was like, one day I'm going to write that. One day I'm going to say that. One day I'm going to talk about that. One day I'm going to help somebody that's going through that, So I started writing, just writing out life. And then if you know me, I always keep journals. I'm like the journal girl. Like, I'm always writing. I love to just write crap all the time. I have tons and tons of diaries and all kinds of stuff just documented of my life, or the way that I think my life. And you're in your diary, you can write whatever you want. I had stopped doing my diaries because someone violated them. And when it was violated, I felt like I was violated, because your diary is kind of like your brand, right? You're writing your thoughts, that's your inner deep, dark secrets of whatever you're toggling with, dealing with, is yours as a whole. So I was toggling with that, and I was like, oh God, like, this is terrible. Like, what am I going to do with this? And how do I do this? And how do I come back from that? So I had to, and I put the pen down, for a minute. And what I found myself doing from probably 2024 going into 2025, I kind of just was toggling with self. And I know some of you are watching, you've toggled with this before. We're all human, right? So we're going to keep it a buck. We're going to say we've all toggled with stuff. We toggle with different things about ourselves that we don't like. And there was things about myself that I wasn't liking. I didn't like the situation I was in. I didn't like the relationship that I had going on. It was a lot. I was being distanced from my child, from my little Harper. It was just so much ins and outs. And then God would reveal something to me. I would see it very clearly. And then I would turn my back on it. Like, nah, it's not really what it is. Or no, it's not really what it is. So 2025 going into 2026, these were the things that I started to open my mind to. I hadn't been dating. I had stopped dating. I was kind of like on a not having sex kind of thing. And I was doing my little 1-2s, just trying to be in my own bubble, so to speak, my own life. And I did that for a little while. And then I met somebody that I was vibing with for a minute. And I kind of, went that direction, because it was attractive. It was tasteful. It was fun. He was fun. I laughed with him. We got along, we had compatibility, but everything that you're compatible with doesn't mean that you're supposed to be with, you know what I mean? Like, in that sense. And I always say, like, you hear me say this a lot when I'm live in the car driving. I'll say, like, if something's for me, it's going to be for me regardless of whatever it is, and whatever I'm going to go through, I'm going to go through it regardless of whatever it is. So I think these are all stepping stones. What I learned not to do is take a person and fill a void. Because when I take a person and fill a void, it backfires anyway. So you have to learn kind of how to be with yourself. And then in the same breath, I'm still toggling, right? I'm still toggling. I'm in the middle of trying to move. I'm in the middle of trying to get my foundation back together. I'm in the middle of, see, this is all what the world doesn't see when you're when the world looks at you to be like incredible and amazing, and you don't have these bad days, you don't have hard moments, you don't go through anything. You're like, you're untouchable to the world. They're like, oh, she don't go through nothing. She got, but no, everybody goes through something. So I had been talking about a podcast and talking about, creating one again. And, since the last one we had, and just trying to do something different. And, I was searching. I think my soul was searching for a niche. I jumped into acting. I started doing that. And that's great. And that's worked out to my benefit. And it's been wonderful. I'm to an agent. The things that I lined up in my life happened. And I wanted things. And I always believe that Jehovah always guides me to where I need to be. Like, no matter what I do, he circles me back in there somewhere. It's always like, okay, you did that, but I need you to do it this way because your way is kind of, not working out for me. So I bumped into a couple of walls, and I talk about these dark areas of my life where, things, the movement of things were crazy in 2025. When I say I felt like Satan himself, it came from hell and just kind of like put his hand on my life and said, I'm going to turn you at angles, and I'm going to turn you back, and I'm going to turn you, and I'm going to keep turning you, and I'm going to keep turning you. And that's kind of what my life felt like, because I was going through all kinds of stuff in 2025, unknown to the world, right? So going, being functionable, being, proactive, still doing, Shelly Live, still being great, still trying to make a content, still trying to make a movie happen that was supposed to happen, trying to, bring in cast and people and crew and all kinds of stuff. And that was the big thing for me. Like, the biggest thing was to make it come off the ground, make it happen. It was a vision. It was something that I saw. And then you bring in people. You bring in people to be a part of this big thing that you're trying to do. And you hope that this big thing is everybody's dream and everybody's desire, right? It doesn't always work out that way. I can tell you that right now. It doesn't always work out that way. Your dream is your dream, period, point blank. And what your dream is, it might not be everybody's dream. And I had to learn that the hard way. What I might want may not be what everybody wants. And that's one of the biggest decisions, I think, or the biggest things that I've learned in 2025 going into 2026, that I am my brand. When people say, what's your profession? I am me. I am her. You see what I'm saying? I am the walking billboard of Shelly Live. Whatever energy people get, I'm her. You see what I'm saying? When you see the picture behind me, I'm her in every sense of the word. But then there's also this other side that's just who I am on a regular day, when I'm not out here being great for the world, and I'm not out here running around on the grass or doing something, to bring revenue. And then you have people that look at your craft and your work as like, she crazy, she doing something, it's stupid, or, it's not what everybody sees for you. But you just know, your thought process in your head, and in your mind, you trying to be great. You see what I'm saying? At the end of my end goal is, I'm trying to be great. I'm trying to be that. I'm trying to get away from all this stuff. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying, and then as you're getting older, you're up against a timeline now. Now you're fighting time. You're like, okay, I'm not the spring chicken I used to be. Oh, I got a little facelift on me. Oh, I got a little charisma. I still got a little pizzazz. I still got a little, I can still walk into a room and command it, or I can open a door. You see what I'm saying? You start calculating things in your mind. So I'm calculating. So now I'm just like, now what do I do with this? So I sat with myself, crying. I found myself crying a lot, like just laying in the bed at night. And you ever lay in your bed sometimes and you're crying in your head, and you're crying out loud, and you don't have the answers. You want them, but you don't have them. But you're crying to yourself because it's something that's missing. And I was missing something. Something in my mind was missing. And I'm like, what's missing? What is this emptiness that I feel? What is this void that I keep trying to fill and I can't figure it out? So I wanted to tap into that, right? So I started talking to this pastor that my friend turned me on to during the time that I was going through this horrific time in my life in 2025. I came across this pastor who started praying over me, and he was like, you got to detox. You got to sit with yourself for a little while. You have to, make some changes. You got to do some things because there's things around you that are not moving in your favor. You don't see it. You don't see it, and you don't want to. That's what I had to learn. Things that were moving around me that I saw, I didn't want to see. I didn't want to believe that somebody can wish me bad. I didn't want to believe that things don't always look great. I don't want to believe that somebody's really bashing me because they really don't like me. You see what I'm saying? Like in my mind, I don't want to believe that. So I'm going to make it good. I'm going to make it great in my head. And even in the Decision of Men, it was the same thing. I wanted this person to be what I wanted him to be. And he had already showed me who he was. That's the part that I had to get. I've already asked the question. And that's when I've learned that you can't put something together. Relationships just go together when they go together. You can't, it's not a tug of war. It's either you're on a page together or you're not on a page together. And if you're not on the page together, then you get off the page. So these are all the things that was being pulled from me. It was like, oh my God, but this is so comfortable. I don't want to let this go yet. I want to hold on to it a little bit longer. But then, I was fighting with my own flesh at this time. Now I'm like, wait a minute. But I'm asking for this, but I'm doing this. And that's when it started not balancing anymore to me. So I collectively made a decision to just, move away from it because it just wasn't for the good of me. And then, then came Singing for Freedom, then it was all this extra shit with that stuff. It was the premiere and the timing and the money and it was a whole bunch of commotion going on around that. And then it was just so much stuff that came into play that was just horrible, horrible. And then in the midst of that, you're still trying to have this, you've taken everything you have and you put it into something, a project that you believe in with everything in your heart. You believe it. But then you have people on your team that don't believe in it like you do. And that's what anything you do in life. Nobody, your dream is as big as you, but you believe in. If I believe I'm great, that means I believe that. That doesn't mean everybody thinks I'm great. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's what I had to learn with the movie Singing for Freedom. I had to learn that I birthed that because that was me. That was my life being plastered to a screen that everybody's going to see January 30th, 2026. It's going to open the door. It's going to open doors for many. Why do I know that? Because I believe in Jehovah God, and he said so. So that it didn't matter the obstacles, because he said, I don't need you to pay attention to the obstacle. I need you to pay attention to the assignment. And the assignment is, you're not going to fail here. You're not going to fall here. You're going to keep going because this is who I made you to be. And in every step of the process, I had to think of my dad and what he would say, because my dad was my biggest cheerleader. So I had to think of him in my head. I had to hear him in my head saying, you do that. Don't do that. Yeah, go ahead and do that. You hear it. So I went through that little phase and I got through it. People thought that the movie premiere was the greatest night of my life. The movie premiere was the most hurtful night of my life. But I'm graceful. And I had to smile through all of what was happening around me, no matter what the pictures look like. They always say pictures paint 1,000 words. Pictures really do, because you can make the world see whatever you want them to see. You could be on a carpet like, yeah. How many celebrities do you know smile and be falling apart? How many celebrities that has committed suicide? How many celebrities that have turned into alcoholics and are on cocaine and drugs? Why? Because there's life happening. There's things pulling and tugging and snatching you, and you're in the midst of just trying to be great. And then when you get it, it's like, you know what I'm saying? You can breathe. So nobody's seeing what's going on behind. And then when you have nobody in your corner supporting you, but the friends that I had a little group of people that was like, I stand with you. I'm going to stand with you through this storm. I'm going to help you pull through it. I want to help you get through this and help you get through it. I'm going to walk in these doors with you and I'm going to walk in these buildings and I want to help you get past and I'm going to help you and I'm going to believe in this and this and this. And that's how it was lined up. So at the end of the night, and nobody knew that. Like, at the end of Singing for Freedom, at the end of the premiere, where I went into the room and I was like taking off my clothes and I had gotten in my car and I was driving to the other spot. And I had that moment where I was just like, I got through that, and then I realized how the kind of person, the way God made me, the way he shaped me, all I could say is, you knew what you were doing when you made me. And my walk, you knew before I walked it. You knew me when I was a baby in a womb trying to just get out of the womb. You see what I'm saying? So the things I got to go through, you already know I'm going to go through them. So I'm going to leave that with you. So I had to believe in that. Then I got past that part, got past the big hurdle of that. And Singing for Freedom, the premiere went off and it was beautiful. Oh my God, people came from everywhere. It was just so pretty to sit in a room, in a house with everybody that you invited. And I sold a lot of tickets. And I tell you, I was out selling tickets to just about everybody and every day, talking about it, speaking, even if I was doing it by myself. I did it because I had to. Because at the end of the day, I had to realize this was my dream. This was my passion. This was my story. And do I let my story be ruined because the players on the team decided to not play with me? So these are all the behind things. These are all the things that was going on in 2025. And then, I had this big old power. And that got, just a little distasteful. And I say the way things come to you is the way that it has to come to you. It has to come to you the way it comes. God says, this is the way I'm going to give it to you. And this is what it's going to be. And it don't matter how much you shake. They say when Jehovah God is working on you, he will bring you to the lowest of the lowest of the lowest. He will make you uncomfortable. So uncomfortable to the point where you can't be no more uncomfortable. And I was uncomfortable. I was so uncomfortable, I couldn't think straight. And I noticed, when I started peeling the layers of my life off, and this particular pastor kept praying over me and saying, every day he was calling me, this is what we're praying about. I need you to go do this. I need you to do this. I need you to clean. I need you to bathe. I need you to fast. I need you to, and it was back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back. And I'm feeling like I'm fighting. It's just things pulling. And I'm going, okay, now I'm tired. He said, no, you're not going to be tired. You still got work to do. So now I'm sitting here at the end of this road and I'm going, now what? Now what am I getting ready to do? So now I have this project. Yeah, this project, Singing for Freedom. We have a movie. It's here. Now what? Now what do I do with it? Now what do I do with it? How do I get it where it needs to go? It has to go somewhere. Project can have a movie, but you ain't got no platform. There's no platform there. So I'm reaching out and I'm saying, hey, help me. But then I had to realize again, it was one person that stayed in my head and they kept saying, this is your dream, girl. This is your goal. This is your brand. That's your face plastered in the middle of that poster. You know what I'm saying? This is your story. So either you're going to let it sit on the shelf or you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out. So this is rolling into 2026. These are all the things that I was going through, trying to be great, still coming on live, still doing Unfiltered at 5. Here we are, still taking hits, dealing with household lives, things moving around, house shooken. House couldn't be no more shaken. It was shook. And I'm like, okay, God, we back at this again. And and I had prayer wars. Like, it's a mountain of people that pray for me. And that's when I realized, sitting in that moment, I had a little girl who called me every day, and prayed for me every day for an hour on the phone. And all I could do was sit and be like, wow. Every day, that girl prayed for me every day for an hour and said, this is not where you will end up. This is not going to happen. And this is not where your story ends. And I was probably damn near suicidal, with all the stuff that was going on. But the world sees what the world sees. You see what I'm saying? People don't care about the pain they cause. You don't care if they hurt you. They don't care. You just got to know that. And when you figure out they don't give a shit, you just move accordingly. So I had to move different, I stopped relying on people and I started relying on Jehovah God. And I said, hey, I'm going to leave this with you. I'm going to leave these burdens with you. I'm going to leave all this with you because I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with none of it. If it's meant for singing for freedom to be on somebody's platform, it's going to get on one. And I'm going to trust and believe that you're going to help me figure out how to get it there. So now I'm in the bed laying at night and I'm thinking all the time. My brain never stops. It's like a 24-hour machine. I don't know what's wrong with it. It thinks all the time. It's always thinking. I wish I could cut it off sometimes. But it's going and it's going and it's going like an engine, And the one that I woke up, I said, okay, let me try that. So I get on my computer the next day and I'm typing and I'm just reaching out to people. Hey, da-da-da-da-da. That's what the Bible said. It said, hey, reach out, call people. You got a mountain of people. I remember my friend Renata saying to me, you have all these people that watch you. Somebody in there watches you that knows about movies. And I thought to myself, you're right. There's a lot of people that watch me. Let me go into this database. So I started going down my Facebook page. 40,000, 35,000 people that watch me all day. I started looking for people that was in film. I said, let me see, let me look. See, when I'm driven, I don't care about my pride. I throw it out the window. All I knew was I had a project that wasn't about to sit down on a shelf. So I said, okay, let me start digging for people. So I started digging for people. People came, I talk about Yetta came, helped me out many nights that I sat on the phone crying. Well, I can say that out loud now. It's okay. In 2026, I'm healed. But in 2025, I was crying and I was going, I just need help. I just need help because I don't have anybody to help me. And I need help. And this is it. It's either it's going to flop or it's going to fly. That's all I got. Yeah, I've given everything I had to this. So either it's going to flop or fly. And I'm doing this alone right now. So you either going to help me or you're not. I can't beg. Oh, I've done that already. I'm already red in the face and begging. Pride gone, ripped, stripped, torn. And I had to still believe that it was going to be great through the storm. And I heard this voice one night. I was laying in the bed say, I didn't bring you this far to let you go. And that night I dreamt my dad. I remember talking to my baby sister on the phone. I said, I don't know why Daddy came to me last night. He was talking to me. He stood there. And then I heard someone say, get up. I say that all the time. I heard someone say, wake up. And I jumped, my eyes popped open in the middle of the night. And I'm like, okay, Daddy, I know you're not here, but I know I heard you, But my dad was like that. He would always say, anytime I went with him with a problem or something that I couldn't fix or figure out or cry about or not heal about or was bad or not good, he would say, what you gonna do about it? Stay there and cry forever? What you gonna do? You gotta figure it out. You gotta figure this shit out. My dad was Jamaican. Figure this shit out. Figure it out. So I started figuring it out. So I gotta figure this out. And I sat up many nights, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock on the phone, failures after failures after failure. I think for the whole month of October, I failed. I was brokenly feeling at that. It was horrible. And I was crying a lot. And I at that, I think it was like October, right before Halloween, I said, I ain't crying no more. I had to collectively make a decision in my brain and say, okay, you're not crying anymore. That's it. It's done. Take her off. She ain't gonna get you nowhere. Bring her in. Now you got to be her. You got to be about that life. You got to be that ignorant. You got to be kicking down the doors and demanding them to open, It's like layers. It was layers to me. Layers of things being people. And I haven't cried since. When I cry now, it's happy tears. Like, ooh, what's going on here? It's these happy, joyful moments that I'm sitting here. I'm going, I'm about to be 54 years old. I am not doing this again. So here we go on November. So I got everything done for the movie and I got it all pitched in there and got it sent out with the help of my friend. And he helped me a lot and got everything in there. And then I learned about all the titles and all these things that people, got credit for that they probably shouldn't have got credit for. And I had to think about that. And I said, what it is, let it ride. And let it be whatever it's going to be, because it's going to be great regardless. So we got that out there. And then it was this waiting period, you're waiting for this person to respond back to you and say, hey, I'm going to rock with you. I'm going to see where this is going to get us. So I sat there for a minute and I prayed about it. And I said, well, Joe, I'm going to leave this with you. I'm not going to think about it anymore because I can't. I've done my part. I've submitted it in. I've sent everything they've asked for. I've pulled all the strings that I know how to pull. I don't know where else to pull. I don't know what else to say. Money is being spent, captions and this, all this money. I'm going, oh God, if I pull in my pocket one more time, my head's going to pop off, and then I got it there. And then I waited, send it off. I send everything off November 4th. And I left it there. I didn't think about it anymore after that. I couldn't, because it had already taken and consumed so much of my brain. And I was like, I'm not thinking about this anymore. I'm not. And I just left it there. So imagine the joy of when I got the email that said, we're going to ride with you. We're going to put this out there for you. It was a good feeling. And I had it in that moment by myself. And I remember calling Yetta and saying, nigga, I don't know how I would have done this without you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And then I called everybody that prayed for me. My Miss Hilda's, my Paula's, my Aaliyah's, and, and Arlene's, and people that was just praying for me. Maya, the pastor, people that was really praying for me and saying, you're going to be okay. You're going to get through 2025 and there's more to come. And then I'm looking at the pastor and I'm going, wait, there's more to come. It can't get any worse. Hell, it's already bad. He's like, no. It's more to come. You just got to brace yourself. You got to prepare for everything, because the worst ain't even got bad yet. And I'm going, what the fricker is going on here? And then the worst came. You know what I'm saying? The worst came. And it came in a way that was so strong and so powerful that it almost knocked me off my damn feet. I can remember laying in my bed and just crying, and I can say that now, and just crying about the hurt alone. Just that, just the hurt alone, just the whole, just the crying my eyes out about the hurt and the devastation that came with it, and it's okay. I can say it now, because it's okay. I'm healed from it. So I can say, okay, I've cried that river. And that pain stung, and it hurt really bad. And now I just got to move past the pain. So when you hear me say purpose past the pain, that's what I mean. I had to press past everything, even in the dilemmas that I was going through, even with my whole world falling apart, even with the tribulations that was spinning around me. I had to still persevere through it. So I know that if I can pull myself out of anything, anybody watching me can too. There's nothing bigger than you. You have to believe. Sometimes you got to cut off the noise and stop hearing it. Because if you keep buying into the noise, you make yourself crazy after a while. You got to think about, a friend said to me, if somebody was your friend, they always your friend. And if they're not, they were never your friend. You see what I'm saying? And I couldn't understand that. I was like, well, how's that possible? It's possible. You see what I'm saying? It's possible when you pay attention to it. And it's not anything wrong with it. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with anything that we go through in life. Life, you're going to go through some challenges. You're going to go through some things that's going to be hard. You're going to go through some things that's going to make you feel bad. You ever been through like a relationship that's real ugly? And you come out of it and you go, Ooh, and you sit back and you look back and you say, well, damn, I made it through that. That's what singing for freedom was for me. I got through it. You see what I'm saying? I could have broken, I could have cracked up, I could have been in a nut house, I could have been a whole lot of things during that time. But I believe that my God in heaven, oh, he definitely looks out. He definitely says, oh, you got a purpose. And that ain't it. And that ain't where you're going to end up. And this ain't what you're doing. People can talk about my life. I'm okay with people talking about my life. I'm okay with people saying some things about me from the past and from this and things I didn't do right and things I didn't do, in school and not in school. And how people going to move how they going to move and they going to tell the story no matter what the story look like. It's up to me to be okay with it. And I'm just like, at this point in my life, I'm pretty much okay with anything anybody says at this point in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I keep buying into it, you're only powerful if I allow you to break me. And I've said it in many lives and many streams for years. I wasn't built to break. I don't come from that kind of blood. I ain't never been broken. You see what I'm saying? I might have been hurt, stumbled, abused, hit on, beat on, punched on, but I ain't never been broken. I'm not in repair. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to heal from all that. I'm trying to heal from the things in life that when I sit down with myself, I say, this is how I'm supposed to be moving. This is what I need to do. And I want to be different. So when you look at me, you see a reflection of something that you want to be like. You see what I'm saying? When you look at me, you say, damn, she is her. I like her strength. I like her energy. Let me take a little bit of that from her. Let me take a little bit of this. When you watch the movie Singing for Freedom, you're going to get that I came out of it. You're not going to get, them punches was hard and the abuse was bad. But you don't see nobody broken. There's a lot of times people break up with you and they think you're supposed to look crazy. Supposed to sit down somewhere. You ain't supposed to look like yourself no more, gain a lot of weight, be all depressed, crying over somebody who ain't crying over you. No, I ain't crying over nobody. Ain't crying over me. Not anymore. That's dead. It's like, at what point do you let the flag go off in your own head? The light bulb, ding, there it go. And you learn how to move the way you have to move. To survive this game is rough. And it's never over. That's the thing. It's never over. Somebody was pointing out on my page, I posted something, and I think a guy said, I don't like your eyes that day, or he didn't like something about the picture. He posted it. And they was like, oh, you should take that down. Why? Why am I take it down? That's his opinion. He don't like my eyes. Okay. He ain't killing me. Like, you know what I'm saying? You put yourself on the world for people to talk about you. I put myself on a platform for people to dissect everything about me. That's why I don't give you no power to do it. I just say, here it go. Here it go. You want to see it? Here it go. This is what it looked like. Because people going to do it anyway. People going to pick parts of you apart to try to make it hurt you. So you may as well put it out to yourself. That's how I looked at you. Oh, okay. All right. Well, cool. Bet. And that's it. I don't try to figure out why. People say comments all day and crazy stuff sometimes. I'd be like, oh, they really said that. That was ugly. You know what I'm saying? And I don't go back and read it. I have friends that go back and read the post on my page and they laugh. They're like, girl, did you see what such said on your post? Did you see what such said? And they might screenshot it and send it to me. And I might be like, that's funny. It's funny to me. But when you get high up in numbers of people looking at your content, it's like, what do you do? I can't read everything. I read the ones I know names that pop out on my post because I'm familiar with them and I'm familiar with who they are. So I know who they are. I'm like, oh, that's such and such. He just said that, So some people mean me good. There's people that come on my page and be like, girl, you show your address in where you was when you was running on the grass. You got to take that picture down. Girl, you might have had this on your eye. Oh, your wig might have been wrong. I respect that. Respectfully so, because there's somebody looking out for me. That's why I mean running out here looking like I'm crazy on this. You know what I'm saying? Like, people watch. People blow up your face. It's like a big screen. They blow you up so big. And they're like, oh, did you know you had a pimple on the left side of your nose on Tuesday? And I'd be sitting there like, get the fuck out of here. You serious? Like, I don't take this stuff personal. I don't. I do not, because I can't. When you put your life out here on social media, you put it out there for everybody to see it, honey. Every person that's wishing you bad, wishing you good, people that might hate you, don't even know why they hate you. You put you, it's a public platform. You know what I'm saying? People gonna like what they like and they gonna hate what they gonna hate. They're gonna take a little bit, not take a little bit. But here's the thing that I always say about people: people will dislike you and keep watching you. You hear Cardi B say that all the time. Like, you have people that really don't like her, but they still be watching her. They can't help it. They can't help it. You're entertaining. I'm freaking entertaining to a lot of people. People be entertained by me, because I talk a lot of junk. I don't have a problem coming here saying this is some bullshit. This is some crazy mess. This is what it is. This is what we doing. At the end of the day, people like that. People like to see, to see you authentic. I can't, I don't want to be, what I'm saying? It is what it is. Oh, did she get her face done? Is her jaws lift up like that? Did she move? You know how many stupid stuff I get in my inbox all day about some craziness? In 2025, baby, in 2026, I was deleting things out of the inbox. I said, okay, I ain't answering no more of this foolishness. I'm done. That's dead. that's it. I'm finished with that. And I just kind of gracefully said, here we are. Here I am going into something new. And I don't want to take 2025 energy. So I'm going to leave 2025 energy and I'm going to walk into 2026 with good energy. And I shed. I just went, I felt like Superwoman. I was like, I felt elevated. I felt lifted. And when I went to bed that night, I slept good. I slept great. And then here go my birthday coming around. And I had an amazing birthday. I had an amazing birthday. I had fun. I was laughing and things. It was just joy all over the place. And then when I sat back, even on my birthday, I was just like, nigga. You sit with yourself sometimes. Like, girl, you are loved by a lot of people. And I kind of like sat back and I was like, damn, sure am. Like, you pat yourself and say, yeah, you shed it live, girl. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I was kind of like that on my birthday. I was kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. You all right. You all right with me. And I took a moment. But I had an amazing birthday. It was wonderful. I turned 54 with all my marbles in my head. My birthday gift to myself. I won the BB Online Awards. That was big for me. It was a lot of competition going on there. And hats off to Jerome, who's right there with me. But I sat there in a minute and I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I won. I don't know if I made it. I don't know if I'm but I did. And that was an accomplishment for me because I worked hard. You had to do all these things, these things that you had to do. And it was fun. And it was like, yeah, I like that. So that whole competition thing gives me like a rush, a little adrenaline rush. I wanted to be on a different agency. I signed with another agency before the year ended and, embracing those new people that I'm with and, and going to their little gatherings with them. And it's nice, being where people around you love you. You know what I'm saying? They love you and they're in your movement of your walk and they believe in you no matter what. You see what I'm saying? So those were the things that I took into 2026. And I said, out with the old and with the new. And even in relationship status and just meeting people, amazing people that really, really rock with me. And I'm just like, wow, you know what I mean? Like I'm smiling and I'm like, oh my God. And I have, things that I like to keep quiet now, versus talking too much about it or saying too much about it. And then when you see it, you just know, she said it was coming. She said she was going to do it. She said this is what she was. And I do. I say what I say and I mean when I say it, when I say it. When I say it's going to happen, I've already spoken. I already got the confirmation. You see what I'm saying? I already know where I'm headed. I already know where I'm going. And what's for me ain't for everybody. And I had to learn that. What's for me ain't for everybody. But what I do know and what I've always known, I'm going to open doors for many because that's the way God lined me up. I'm going to give opportunity always because that's how I'm lined up. It's going to always come through me because that's how I'm lined up. It ain't about me. This mission and this walk ain't about me, honey. It's about passing the baton, pulling somebody forward and saying, here you go. We finna shine. We finna rock out. We finna do this. And then when I'm done, I'm done. There's no need for me to linger. There's no need for me to sit there. And I can tap myself on my back because I've opened doors for a lot of people. And that's not just in one walk, that's in all the walks of my life. I ain't a friend of a friend of a friend. I don't even know what that looked like. I ain't a friend of nobody's friend. That's a lie. I'm the friend that brings the friends together. But I ain't a friend of nobody's friends. That's just not who I am. That's not how my life was lined up. My life was to be a leader. And I'm going to die being one. And I'm going to kick down doors doing it. And if you know that's your calling on your life, and you know that you're a leader, and that's what you're born into, and that's all you know. I'm from greatness, baby. My dad was great. My mother's great. I'm from greatness. And out of that greatness, baby, came me. I got DNA that's so big and powerful running through this blood of mine, baby, you can't do nothing with it, but watch it elevate. And when you know your life is lined up that way, you don't want it anyway. You got to worry about nothing else. Don't worry about what's for you. Don't be envious of what nobody got, what nobody has. What something's for somebody else might not be for you. You got to learn that in life. Don't be jealous because someone got a bigger house or a bigger car or, they carry a bigger bag or they got a bigger diamond. That might not be your diamond. You know what I'm saying? That might not be for you. Be for the things that are for you. Be for the things that are great for you. And be happy in it. My co-host told me that the other day. She said, I've made a collective decision that 2026 ain't going to be like 2025. I wish she was here to say it herself because she said it so clean on the phone that night. I was like, yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. We feed off that energy because you got to. Some point, you got to put boundaries that you don't let people cross. No matter what it is, you don't let them cross it because you can't. Because once them boundaries are crossed and people feel like they can get to you and move you and shake you up a little bit, they keep shaking you up. And they shake too much you can't until you shake dry. There ain't nothing else left to give. So don't do that to yourself no more. Be amazing. How hard is it? Be fantastic. Y'all hear me say this all the time. Love on somebody. Love somebody other than yourself. Stop holding on to things you can't take in the grave with you. You got people out here holding on to everything. You have hoarders that hoard up their whole house because they can't let go of nothing. They want everything. You can't hold on to everything. You got to let go of some shit so some new shit can come in sometime. You know what I'm saying? You got to take down some shirts out your closet. Throw away some shoes. Take out the trash. Sweep off your front porch. Change the rug. You see what I'm saying? You got to move some stuff around because the new can't come in if you clutter with the old. You can't, it ain't going to happen. So you got to believe that whatever you believe in, no matter what the storm that you fight, no matter what you're going through. Yeah, people say, I don't look like what I've been through. But I can tell you, I don't look like what I've been through. 2025. Yeah, 2025 was different. But y'all get out here and y'all be great. This is my time. This is this hour. I wanted to give y'all something fresh in 2026 on this 13th day of January. And then hopefully drop your comments in there. I'll come back and answer them. Y'all gonna be amazing, man. It's gonna be an amazing year for many. Whatever you toggling with in your spirit, let it go. Let it go. You fighting with somebody ain't fighting with you and they fighting you and you beating yourself down. Let it go. Let it go. Be the bigger person sometimes. Believe in yourself. Gamble on you when nobody else is gambling on you. Love on somebody. Hug on somebody. Be great with somebody. I know that you are incredible and you are amazing and you were meant to be amazing and you're always going to be amazing no matter what. It's a big old world out here and it's enough for everybody. Stay in your lane when it's your lane and pray. Pray that the good comes out of everything you do. And don't wish nobody no bad because it don't look right on you when you do it. Wish everybody good. That's what the Bible say. That's what your Heavenly Father's saying in heaven. He say, wish the people that's even your enemies good. Wish them the best. Because how can you rise when you praying for somebody's downfall? Go figure. Anyway, y'all, that's my hour. I'm out of here. I love y'all. We love y'all. We're going to be back. You know, my girl about to be out of this thing she's in, and we're about to be back on this thing, y'all. We're going to jump on when we can. I love y'all. We love y'all. We love it. Unfiltered at 5. We shut it live and Lee in the code. That's my girl. That's my riding or die partner. We in this to win it, y'all. Y'all be great. Be fantastic. Be blessed. Be beautiful. Well, I was out of here. But my mouth said, stop. Y'all be great, though. For real. Be great.
Girls, let's talk about it. Did you hear them talking about it? Oh my God, do you know this? Oh my God.
Oh my God, Shani Lava Nicole. Shani Lava Nicole on a roll. Lighting up the stream, the vibe is bold. Shani Lava Nicole, let's go. Kicking down doors, we make some noise. Grown folks talk with truth and poise. Doing it big, turning up the flow. Shani Lava Nicole, you know. Oh yeah, Shani Lava Nicole. Oh yeah, Shani Lava Nicole. Everywhere, Shani Lava Nicole. Oh yeah, grown talk vibes, the moment is here.
Thank you for tuning in.